Well, the mercury is a-rising out there, folks. Welcome to a special edition of a Wednesday Word. And it's because we just didn't do it Tuesday Tidbit, I guess.
We got to get some series going again.
I know.
We had such a good one, we can't outdo that.
Well, let's feed off of the last series. We talked all about interest rates, and I want to talk about something that is kind of ancillary to that, and actually more than ancillary. It's very connected to that, and that's the psychology of today's buyer, Matt. And so what I mean by that is buyers, for that matter, sellers too, have been conditioned in the last 2 years of our market to become, buyers especially, to become incredibly reactionary. And that's because we've had this frenzy of most houses getting no joke, in some cases, 20 to 30 offers on a property. And it's how fast can you get it in? How strong can you make your offer? That was our whole job for 2 years, was how do we trim the fat on these offers to make them the most pure, attractive thing to a seller. And that, by and large, has changed in the last 4 months. And so now we're shifting to this market where buyers have a little bit more leverage. They have a lot more, in most cases, time and options. And so they can go from being reactionary to being really thoughtful decision makers. And it's good for sellers to know that, but it's really good for buyers to know that, how they move forward kind of in this new climate.
Yeah, I mean, we're back to a more balanced market. It's still a seller's market based on the inventory levels, but everything's still kind of sifting itself out, and we're still kind of in this shifting market. And so as we're in this, sellers have to kind of change their mentality, and that their home might not, they're not going to have 30 showings the first weekend. They might not have an offer in the first 2 or 3 days, let alone maybe not even first week or two.
Yep.
We're seeing a lot of price reductions. We're seeing a lot of under asking price offers, and sometimes well under asking, as these buyers are kind of watching what's happening in the market and trying to kind of get ahead of it. Mm-hmm. And so, as a seller, it might be the case that a buyer wants to come back and see your home 2 to 4 times, and as they're kind of taking their time now to make these big decisions, they have the ability to do that. And buyers, they do have more inventory. Things aren't flying off the shelves, and there's just almost 2 months of inventory out there now, so they have more to choose from. So sellers have to work to make their home the most attractive it can be to now compete against the more competition that's out there. And
on the buyer's side, you look at as us as agents representing buyers, but also the trusted people that are around buyers, whether it's parents or siblings or kids or other family and friends, they are coming into that decision process now with buyers a lot more because they have the time to do so. And so we need to react to that as agents. We need to be that trusted advisor, but also allow other people in their life and to come into this decision-making process. And it's not going to be one size fits all. I mean, I'm reminded of a Tuesday Tidbit I gave, last week or the week before, from down in Sun River, where I had a buyer that lost out to 7 other offers that came in, and most of them were cash. So there's still going to be, that exists in pockets still, but by and large, if you're a buyer or a potential buyer out there looking, you can lower the panic meter down a little bit. You should have more time to make a really thoughtful decision as we enter this market. And it's going to have to be thoughtful because you're going to be paying a premium with interest rates. And granted, hopefully that won't be forever. That'll be a couple of years before you can refinance. But you'll want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence, that you feel really, really good about the decision that you're going to make.
Yeah, and you can be a little more selective. So all this is good, and it's even good for sellers in the long run. It's good for all of us here in Central Oregon. So if you're a buyer out there looking to find something here in Central Oregon, we'd love to help you out. It's like we're saying, it's a much more relaxed environment to do so than it has been over the last 2 years, maybe even 10 years. So,
although I have a rule for the rest of this week for anybody that I'm going to show property to, only going into homes with AC.
That's a good rule. That's a good rule in the triple digits.
Yeah.
All right, well, we hope you enjoyed this little Wednesday Word. We'll get back on the Tuesday Tidbit train, and see you next time.
All right.
Hey, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you haven't already, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Our handles are shown here on the screen, and you can always find our contact information or more about us on www.buysellbend.com. Thanks.